All right, welcome to this week's episode of Shooting with Nerds. This is Neil Vermillion, coming over to PRS from the 3-gun side, and it's going to be a real fun adventure as he starts to embark on this PRS adventure, as it basically is. I'm sure NRL Hunter will be in the future as well, and just all things related to accurized and precision rifle shooting, I assume.
Yep.
So, couple things we wanted to go over was Neil's gun, things that we're doing before the match, his preparation for coming from 400-yard targets that are 4 MOA, going to some smaller targets that are a little bit further away. So I'll let Neil kind of introduce himself, give you guys a gun rundown, and we'll talk about some gear and see where this goes.
Hey guys, so my name is Neil Vermillion. I come from the 3-gun background, as Josh had said. I've been shooting 3-gun at a pretty high level for about 4 years now. It's still fun, don't get me wrong, but he's been chirping me to shoot PRS along with a bunch of other guys. So we're going to see what we can do with the gas gun division. I'm prior service military as well as a military contractor, and so I kind of wanted to do that vibe with a Mark 12, but in 308. So, I like to do things the hard way. I have a bolt gun, but that seems too easy almost. I like to make things difficult. So I'll give you a rundown of my rifle right here. So this is a fairly chrome correct gun. There's an AEM 530 can up front with a Coltac suppressor wrap. The Mark 12, but for the GPMS high pattern from PRI. I got this real cool Arca rail that's designed for this. It's on an Aero build, Criterion barrel, and the PRS light stock, Night Force 2.5 to 20 to get me started on some Seekins rings, and we'll see how this goes.
We were nice. We did throw a level on there for him. I have an extra send it, so plug that on there. I figured some legality would be better than none, and at his level of shooting, he's probably shot 3 to 5 times more rounds than I have downrange in his life, and he has a better fundamental of getting that rifle level onto barricades, but
allegedly
we'll
find out when someone's telling me what's going on.
And it's on little QD quick connect, so that's on there as well, just for if it needs to be used. So
let's talk about the PRS gear that I've got without buying any PRS gear.
Yeah, so get into that real quick.
So I'm not trying to go. PRS is, from my understanding, is pretty much a gear race at a certain point. Like when you start getting pro level, it's like you have to have very good equipment.
Yeah, in my opinion, good equipment is different than the most expensive equipment. That's very important in my mind to remember. I shoot one bag. It's a game changer. It's a schmedium, heavy fill. Shot them for years. I think my old one's right there. It blew up after about 3 or 4 years of use. It's behind us. But having the right gear, it doesn't have to be the most expensive, but finding out that like some of these lighter weight bags, an NRL Hunter and matches and stages where you got to move a little quicker can be helpful, but you do sacrifice a little bit of stability. Nice bag rider. So he's got a good assortment. I think we just need to go get a 50-pound bag of sand and replace some of that fill. But like Neil said, I think this is going to be a really cool journey to just kind of use the stuff that he's been using for years, shrink the size of targets, shrink the time, reduce the movement as far as like sprinting up and down 20 yards back. I think the furthest we're going to move this weekend's about 4 yards. So reduction in physical exertion and the requirement for hitting smaller targets just got a lot higher, and to be able to gain the points to build up in that gas gun division. So of course I'm shooting a bolt gun, probably always will. I do love shooting gas guns. They just did that for a long time. The bolt gun's my game right now. So this is going to be a really cool journey to see where this 308 Mark 12 basically lenses, or Neil in particular. Tomorrow is the first match. We've got 6 stages. I think we said 74, 75 rounds. After I'm done setting up here in a couple hours, I'll send an email out to everybody with the actual round count. But it's going to be a great way to get this rifle into the match. Home range, knows the landscape pretty well, so he won't be searching all over for targets. So it'll be a really good initial match to see where this gun is and what it can do, because the shooter's got the skill set. It's just fine-tuning some fundamentals, coming from one style of shooting going to another style and being able to apply that. So anything else you want to talk about as far as before the match kind of?
We do the tune-up we did.
So yeah.
In preparation for all of this, for the last week or two, new load development for the 308, see what this gun likes. And I've been able to squeeze about an MOA out of accuracy out of it with 168 grain SMKs. That's not the best, but it's a gas gun, and I'm trying to do this on the cheap, so we're not trying to get Lapua brass yet. We're not doing that kind of stuff. So there's some more that can be pulled out of this. I can get a JP barrel, you know, I can do a bunch of other things. But right now, the idea that I'm having is I don't want to sink a bunch of money into this project quite yet, until I shoot my first match and realize, oh, I like this, or oh, this sucks, and I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, you can, you can kind of figure out exactly. You're going to build the rifle anyways. It just happened to be a good contestant for being brought to PRS. So I think you're going to have a great time. There's a couple of guys out there shooting suppressed 308s. I think there's 2 other gas guns in 308 with cans on them, and I know there's at least 2 or 3 other 308 bolt gun shooters. So you know, at Rio Salato Sportsman's Club up here at Usury, we have about max out around 700 yards of availability, but we do a lot with that with target sizes. You know, a lot of guys show up, they're like, oh, we're only shooting out to 680 today, and wait till you see the targets. So that'll be a change of pace as well. So it's going to be a real interesting result. We're going to do this before the match, and then probably in a couple days we'll do a post-match follow-up and just see how everything went, talk about some scores, stages, review some footage from the match, and really start to get an idea of, you know, can you shoot the whole season with this rifle and be successful on level of gaining points to get up there into that bracket.
Yeah, so in preparation of this, I did sign up for PRS, and I have a PRS number now, so this isn't all just like in the ether. Like, this will be scored nationally, so it's a little intimidating, but we'll be all right.
It'll be fine. So it's not like you don't shoot tons of majors every year anyways.
Right.
So it's you know, regional match should be basically a cakewalk. You know, I mean, as far as the level of stress and anxiety goes coming into something new, that'll definitely be, in my opinion, less than traveling to go shoot a pro 2-day match. I mean, I still get the EBGBs, and you know, on that note, like I said, I've had a couple of little small sweats because Sunday is going to be the first match that I'm officially the new MD up here, and well, I'm hoping I can perform and give everybody a good time, but I've got guys like Neil helping me set up today, so this is going to be really interesting. We did do everything we could do to get this rifle set up for Neil. We've got some pretty darn good dope, plus or minus a tenth between 1 and 550. So he's pretty close. I'm sure a couple stages in, he'll make some small adjustments, make some notations, and it's going to be really fun to see how this day turns out. But as far as that goes, we got to get up to the range. We got to go set this match up, and we'll post some stuff in the next few days as to what comes of all of this. So stay tuned for that, and glad we could get you guys introduced to Neil, and he'll be on this channel a little bit more regularly. We will be bringing in Nick Pitha as well. Just kind of have like a trio of guys that are new to bolt gun PRS shooting, been shooting with a gas gun. He's completely new to PRS, and Nick is going to be shooting his tried and true 223 gas gun for the season. So we've got some good content coming your guys' way that should be interesting and answer questions that frankly I think a lot of guys don't have information to, or access to that information. So with all that said, see you guys next time. Thanks for shooting with nerds.